already know just where I be, dog. I ain't being cocky, but Philly what I'm reppin'. Watch me check it like it's hockey. I ain't tryna get it twisted. If you get it, then you got me. If you with it, cool. If not, I'll treat you like a Tamagotchi. I'ma let you down point. Yeah, I never disappoint.
What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some Call of Duty World War II ranked play. I do just want to say I apologize. There is no game audio because I had music on. And I don't really want to get copyrighted, even though I can't monetize my videos right now. I still just don't want, copyright on my channel. But, so I'm sorry about that. I had my commentary mic on for some reason, and I was playing music while I was playing, and it just, yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell why I muted it, but I hope you guys do enjoy the 99 Lives music in the background. But today, I want to talk about the CWL and the different regions. Now, let me just start by saying this. I'm not saying this should happen, but I want to kind of bring it to life, see what people think about it, and if there were a change, would it be better for the LAN League? So right now, the LAN League is made up of two divisions, Division A and Division B. Division A was made up of Red Reserve, Evil Geniuses, Team Envy, Team Caliber, FaZe Clan, Echo Fox, Splice, and Epsilon, which consists of, let's see, 3 European teams and 5 NA teams, North American teams. So that's a pretty good balance, right? Division B made up of Optic Gaming, Luminosity Gaming, E-United, Rise Nation, Unilad, Complexity, Mind Freak, and Tainted Minds. So Division B only has 1 European team. However, they have 2 of the APAC teams, or the Australia and New Zealand teams. So it's a little bit more diverse in Division B because they have those 2, APAC teams, which is kind of really cool to see because they made it through, Tainted Minds made it through relegation. But now, what I wanted to talk about was, if each region had a LAN League, then at the playoffs, the top people at, whichever division would go and just all play each other. Now, if North America had its own league, right? No European teams unless they moved to North America, or no APAC teams unless they moved to North America. But let's just say Division A would be all the North American teams. So you have the top 16 teams, and if you wanted to split them into 2 divisions, I guess it would still work. However, the only way this wouldn't work is when you go to Australia, New Zealand, and in Europe, because the player base is a lot less deep as it is over here in North America. So that kind of sucks in a sense, because there are good European teams. However, there's only like 4 good ones. And I'm using the phrase good very, very loosely. I should say 2 pretty consistent teams, right? You have Red Reserve and you have Splice, which are arguably the best 2 European Call of Duty teams right now. So you'd pretty much be dominated by those 2 teams in the LAN League. Then you have Unilad, who just gave up their best player to Red Reserve and Scraps. I've not seen them play. They are in Division B, so I've yet to see them play on LAN, but probably be significantly worse. Then you have Epsilon, who is very good when it comes to European Call of Duty, but absolutely sucks when they play anyone else, essentially. Like, they're a good team, don't get me wrong, but they just don't have what it takes to compete over in North America. So that's kind of what it got me thinking, that would a European LAN League make sense. But then where it would really, really struggle would be the APAC region. So the Australia, New Zealand region, you only have 2 good teams there. I mean, it's been these 2 organizations, basically these same players for the past couple years, that have been the only players to actually do anything. So that's not a knock to that region, but it's just like the level of competition over there is just almost non-existent after, the top 2 teams. So you have Mind Freak, who is the best, team there, and then you have Tainted Minds, who they just kind of keep recycling players, and then by that time, some people are just retiring because they don't get better, right? They don't come over to North America, they don't compete in events, they don't really improve themselves. So then they're just kind of stuck at a certain level to where they could take games off of, you know, good teams, but then they just ultimately fall because they just don't have what it takes. So in theory, it wouldn't really work. You also bring up the scenario where could you combine Europe and APAC to where you'd have all the European teams and all of the APAC teams together. Then you have someplace in like Europe or something, or I guess you can't really have it in APAC because I don't really think the fan base is there unless you go to like a very, very major city and create like an esports arena over there. But would that work? Because you have at least 6 good teams, and then you have whoever's left. And I know there's, you know, a couple other pretty decent European teams, but I don't think there's any really other good APAC teams. So would that work? Most likely not. However, if you're not in the league, like if you are not playing in the LAN League, if you're not in Division A or B, so outside of the top 10 NA teams, out of the top 6 EU teams, or no, is it 4? Out of the top 4 European teams, and out of the top, and the top 2 APAC teams. I mean, they originally was 10 NA, 5 EU, and 1 APAC. Then, out of relegation, Tainted Minds made it through to where now there's 2 APAC teams. There is, what, 4, there's 4 EU teams and 9 NA teams. So a little bit more diverse, right? You trade an NA team for an APAC, which is interesting. You look at who APAC beat, and it's like the amateur teams from NA. So I guess you'd consider like APAC level Call of Duty like I guess a little bit more than like an amateur, but like just under pro, because their skill level is good, but it's not really good enough to consistently win in North America. So it's kind of like really, really shaky to where you want to give European players and APAC players the best opportunity to play and win. But as soon as they try to do that in North America, they suck in a sense. Like that's kind of what happened to Epsilon, right? They're a good team. They have very good players. But then they come over and face, you know, Red Reserve, the top European team. They face some of the top NA teams, and they just get ran over. Like they're like some barely put together team. And they have some pretty darn good players. But the last like 4 years of Epsilon playing in the North American League, I'm pretty sure they've won like 5 series total. Like, it's not good. So, could you put, you know, an amateur NA team in there and they would do better? I don't know. Could you put another European team in there and they do better? I don't know. But there's got to be another way. Now, I will give the CWL credit here. They do have the CWL national circuit to where everyone from, like, the US, Canada, I think there's, what, like, France, Ireland, like, Germany, like, Spain. I think there's an APAC one. Like, they have a ton of different circuits to where if you win, you get invited to the events, and you're basically guaranteeing yourself a spot in the open bracket at a higher seed, I believe. I don't really know exactly how that works, but, you know, that's a pretty good opportunity, right? If you win, you get all of your flights paid for, your hotels, your accommodations, your everything. So that's a pretty sick deal. I mean, it's not near the level of, you know, Pro League stuff, but the national circuit, I believe, is online. I don't think it's on LAN, but it gives a lot more teams opportunities to play. We all know how online Call of Duty is, and it kind of isn't the most consistent, because if you have one person with a completely unfair host, it's not that fun. So I get it, but the national circuit is a great thing. I'm glad they implemented something like that. But what do you guys think? I'll put this question up to you guys. Do you think I'm not talking about even the top, like, exclude everyone in the current divisions, right? So exclude Red Reserve, EG, Envy, TK, FaZe, Echo Fox, Splice, Epsilon. Opti Gaming, Luminosity, E United, Rise Nation, Unilad, Complexity, Mindfreak, and Tinted Minds. Exclude all of them. Should there be a league in each region, right? So there is good things about it that could happen, right? It gives more people a chance to play. Not be nearly as exciting as, you know, the current league with all the professional teams. When you look at the national circuit teams, that's almost like the amateur teams, right? I mean, it could have a lot of pro players on, or some of the pro players that have done stuff in other titles on their team, but they're not in the league. So does that make them amateur or, you know, semi-pro, or what? I don't know what that would make them, but they should almost create like an amateur league and see how that goes. So that way they have the national circuit plus a little bit more. So almost like you create an in-between step there to where you could have, you know, a semi-pro kind of amateur league on LAN somewhere to kind of help out the people that aren't in the league. But anyway, I talked about a lot in this episode here, but if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like, I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you and never